Hey, welcome to the Gluten and Dairy Free Challenge. So I just wanted to do a quick prep post, a little live video here, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be doing this week, day by day, and also what to expect, and then also to give you a couple tips for what to do to get started. So if you've already signed up for the Gluten-Free Dairy Free Challenge, you know that you got the initial email welcoming you to the group, and also just giving you my startup staples checklist, which is really handy for the grocery store, and also a healthy snacks list. Those are both the resources that I have for my gut health reset program. So they're really, really handy to have, especially if you're new to this kind of thing, or even if you're just trying to get back on track with this type of eating. It's just when you go to the grocery store, our health always kind of starts at the grocery store, right? So if you have that list of things that are gluten-free, dairy-free, and just like things to have on hand so that you have something to go to grab. The number one thing I want to tell you is that when you're trying to make dietary changes, you do not want to go hungry. That is the last thing we want. This is not some crazy diet where we're trying to lose 100 pounds in 2 days. This is literally about making our bodies feel better. So welcome to the group. Most of you guys have actually written to me and said that you're struggling with some kind of digestive issues, stomach issues, bloating, heartburn, but also there's quite a few of you who have also mentioned that you have headaches or brain fog or like really low energy and you just want to get yourself back. So that is what we're going to be doing this week. We are going to be focusing on everybody talks about how to get healthy, and what I love to dive into is the how behind the why. So what we're going to talk about then is day one, we're going to talk about what the heck to eat when you're eating this way. I know I already gave you like a cheat sheet to start with for your shopping, but basically what I want you to think about is pre-planning out 2 days worth of meals and snacks, just so that you kind of have a good idea. It doesn't have to be exact, but just a really good idea of what you can eat that's going to be naturally dairy and gluten-free. So what I mean by that are, what are the types of foods, like whole foods, that don't actually include gluten and dairy. So when you're thinking about breakfast, you might be looking at smoothie or a vegan protein shake. If you're looking at lunch, maybe you're looking at a salad, or maybe you're looking at some baked sweet potato, or you can do anything that's gluten-free from you can use gluten-free bread and make sandwiches, or, you can also use meals that you would normally make and just take out the gluten and dairy. But when you're first starting out, it's often easier if you just start cooking things that are already gluten and dairy free. So like a stir fry, like a chicken stir fry. You just have to watch what kind of sauce you're putting on it. But normally we make a chicken stir fry and it's just rice and chicken and vegetables with some sort of sauce. So that's like a super easy one just to get you started. Another easy one that people make all the time in their house, especially if you have kids, is probably spaghetti. And a really easy way to make spaghetti gluten-free is just to buy the gluten-free noodles. So that's all on that startup staples checklist. Go grab yourself some gluten-free noodles, some gluten-free bread, grab yourself some like rice crackers. Like, just start to slowly think about the little staples you can have in your house that will still make you feel like you're a normal person. Okay, so that's my little tip on that. So tomorrow I'm going to dive into, so just so you know, every day I'm going to send you a new video, and it's going to be probably like 10 to 15 minutes long. I don't want them to be super long because I want you guys to be able to really absorb good information, but not in a way where you can't handle all of it, But basically we're going to dive into what the heck you eat when you're trying to eat this way. Day two, we're going to dive into the difference between allergies and intolerances, because it's really important to understand the difference. I have intolerances and I teach people how to heal from intolerances. And if you have like celiac or severe allergies, this will help you, but that's not technically what I'm targeting, because I'm not always perfect with my stuff, and it's because it's only an intolerance to me. So if you have like true celiac or a true allergy, like an anaphylactic allergy to this stuff, you have to be super careful. Obviously, you know that. But yeah, we're going to talk about the differences between the two, the ways the symptoms show up differently, and all that kind of stuff. And then day three, we're going to talk about what gluten and dairy actually do inside of our bodies. So not just people who are intolerant or allergic to them. There's a ton of science out there that's now starting to prove that dairy and gluten actually perform a certain way in the body, especially the way that they're processed and presented in most of our diets these days. And so I'm going to just dive into a little bit of that so that you guys have an understanding of what's going on behind the scenes and why so many people are all of a sudden starting to react to these foods that we've had in our diets forever, right? And then day four, we're going to talk about the role that food intolerances actually play in gut health, because I know that we hear gut health all the time, and I'm such a nerd when it comes to nutrition and gut health because I'm super interested in it. But the thing is that we don't understand the role that all the different things that we do in our daily life actually does to our gut. And our gut is connected to our brain. And so a lot of the time when you're having like anxiety or depression or no energy or memory loss or brain fog, it's all related to what's going on in your gut. And so I really want to dive into, on day 4, what inflammation in your digestive tract, which is caused in a large part by gluten and dairy, especially if you're intolerant to them, what role that's playing in your gut health, which is affecting all the other systems and hormones and everything else in your body. So I'm going to dive into that. And then on day 5, we're going to talk about nutrition and supplements. So oftentimes when we've been reacting to a food for a lot of years, we got a lot of damage inside going on. And there's definitely things that we need to do to be able to support our body's natural ability to heal, to get us back to where we need to be. And so I know that when we talk about gut health, people automatically just say, take probiotics. And it's like, yes, those are super important, vital to our microbiome, which is all the little bacteria and stuff that we need to have a healthy gut. But there's more than just probiotics to gut health. I want to talk about that. So we're going to talk about prebiotics, which is the food for the probiotics. And we're going to talk about omega-3s because it's so important to reduce inflammation in the digestive tract to be able to heal. And we're going to talk about bioavailable vitamins and minerals, which is just a fancy way of saying that your body can actually grab them, absorb them, and use them right away versus synthetic vitamins that it can't actually do anything with. So that's just a quick recap of the things that we're going to cover this week. I would love it if you guys would go in and introduce yourself in the comment below. Just let us know where you're from, what city, what country. And then say a quick hello, I guess, you know. It's always so much more fun if we participate together and we get some energy flowing. And please, all week long, ask as many questions as you want. I'm here to coach you and help you. This is your opportunity to get the coaching and the mentorship for free. It's a free 5-day challenge, so you can totally come in and ask me any questions that you have. And if you feel like something's private, feel free to message me and just direct message me privately. That's totally fair too. But hopefully this is going to be helpful. The goal is to, if you have never done this before and you're just curious whether gluten or dairy could be triggering your symptoms that you're experiencing, then this is going to be awesome for you. If you are somebody who already knows that those things trigger you and it's just so hard to stay on track, this is also going to be like a reset to get you back on track and have a little bit of accountability and maybe some new fresh ideas for the types of meals you can be making. I'm going to share a bunch of different things that I make in my own house this week so that you kind of get a sense for, okay, well, if I'm actually trying to feed my whole house on this type of diet, you know, one person has a wheat allergy and one person has a dairy allergy or intolerance, I should say, and then another person has IBS symptoms, and then another person has a peanut allergy. Like, that's the kind of stuff I deal with in my house. And so what you want to do is find meals as much as possible that are just going to work for everybody in the house. So that is the goal of the week, is to help you feel better and to also to give you that confidence that you actually could eat this way. And maybe it's not 100% of the time, unless, like I said earlier, unless you're celiac or a true allergy. But if it's an intolerance and it's just causing inflammation in your body, you can choose when you want to eat those foods. But the goal is to get you out of that zone where you feel helpless about it and you don't know what's happening and you don't know why that symptom is always showing up and bothering you, or you always have a sore stomach, or you always feel like you're in the fog even if you've had a good sleep, right? So the goal is to get you feeling better and to help you know that you could actually start to replace gluten and dairy with certain other alternatives. And like I said, then you can choose when it's worth it to eat those things instead of just feeling like you're out of control all the time with your health. So hopefully that was helpful. Welcome into the challenge. And please, like I said, introduce yourself in the comments below. I'd love to say hello and see where you're from. And then we will get started tomorrow. So have a great Sunday and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Cheers.